Look at that. Oh my God. Hi, my name's Connor, and I just made matcha look illegal. I mean, just look at this pour here. I have nitro matcha on tap here, about cafe style at my house, and I can show you exactly how to make this at home on tap. It'll go great with your nitro cold brew if you have that already. So stay tuned for the instructions. And here we go. All right, to make this, we're going to be using some pretty expensive matcha here. This is Naoki fine matcha powder. It's pure grade, ceremonial grade matcha. I got this on Amazon. The link will be in the description of the video. You could probably use cheaper matcha, but I wanted to make sure this one's pretty good. I bought a 100-gram bag. I'll probably only use 70 grams. I'll take that. I'll measure it out using a scale, and then I'm going to put it in this pot right here. I'm going to heat it up, and I'll show you exactly what temperature I'm going to. And then I'll mix it into a slurry. I'll then filter it using this really fine filter column right here into this keg. Before doing all this, I'm gonna for sure strain my matcha using this strainer right here, and then we'll get this started. First things first, I'm gonna zero the cup here, and I'm gonna put about 70 grams of the Naoki powder, and I'm going to just sheave it into that. So I'll get that started right now. All right, let's see how well this does real quick. I may need a spoon or something. Let me try this out. I definitely spilled some on the side and don't do what I did. Just to get it as small as possible. That's unfortunate. I probably need to have a smaller strainer. Alright, we're about where we want to be about 70 grams right there. Next, I'm going to heat up 300 milliliters of water to 150 degrees Fahrenheit to mix the slurry of matcha before combining it with the rest of the water. So we'll get started now. Alright, water temperature is about 150 to 160, so it's about time to pour this into the matcha. Alright, so we're just gonna add a little bit at first to try to get this thing all mixed up. So this is your matcha slurry right here. Then this thing right here will just mix it up. Make sure you get really mixed. It's like a paste. Look at that.
Whoa.
All mixed. There was about 2 more cups of water. All right, now I'm gonna pour the matcha slurry into this filter column. Links in the description. It came with a plastic micron thing on top of it. I try to use it. Problem is it's so thin that it'll take just basically forever for anything to go through it. And I think for the most part, having a little bit of the matcha go through will be okay. But we'll see how this goes. All right, now here we go. When it stops running, just add a little bit more water to it. I think it gets a little bit clogged. Stir it as well, like this. As you guys can see, you're gonna have to keep adding water and whisking it to get a lot of this stuff to move to the column. So I'll keep doing that. right, final one. And we got some filtered water here, taste beer, camper water. I'm just gonna use it to fill up the rest of this keg right here. Alright, that's it. And this lid you probably saw in my nitro cold brew video. It's the same thing where it's got the tubing attached to a rock at the end of it that helps infuse the gas. I actually took it and I cut it a little bit shorter because the keg's smaller. But we'll just put that in right now. I'll just pull up. And like I mentioned before, make sure the gas valve is shut. You gotta really shake the keg up. Mix it all around. Alright, now we're ready to roll. Now we'll hook up the gas valve here. And then we'll get to the top. And then we're gonna start infusing some nitrogen. Here's this infusion right there. We'll leave that infusing for a little bit, and then we'll attach it up here to get it working. All right, now it's the next day, so let's try out this nitro matcha. Look at that! Oh my god! Yeah, my nitrogen's just falling down. Wow. It's got a foamy top, kind of like a Guinness. So now we have our nitrogen matcha here. I'm gonna give it a try. It's pretty smooth, pretty silky. I will say it needs just a little bit of something citrusy, and for that, I'm going to use a teaspoon of this yuzu extract juice. I'll add like some earthy, citrusy tones here. That'll go great with the matcha. You kind of want to shake this up a little bit. You can get this at most of your Asian grocery stores, or you can get this on Amazon as well. The link will be in the description. But I'll just do 1 teaspoon of this at about this size cup of matcha. So we'll get that started. Alright, just 1. Oh! And then we'll mix it up just a little bit. And go for the taste test. That is so much better. There's like a little bit of yuzu at the very end that just keeps it from being flat. You could probably put about a teaspoon of sugar in here if you like a little bit of sweetness to combat the bitterness. If you think it's a little too bitter, you could also try doing less matcha powder or a little bit more, depending on how much you want the matcha flavor to go through. I think the strainer I used was appropriate for preventing it from being too chalky. I think that you could use that little fine mesh strainer I showed in the beginning video. I had a little bit of trouble getting the matcha to go through there, but I think if I just stirred it a little bit, it would go through. But this is a pretty good consistency for me. I also didn't use the big pot to dilute the matcha beforehand, because I think it would have taken forever to pour it all through that column. So I think the way I showed you in the video is probably one of the best ways to do it. But let me know if there's any tips and tricks or anything you guys want me to try with regards to perfecting nitro matcha. Cheers.